Hi everyone, it's Lindsay with High Altitude Astrology, and I am here today bringing you a chart reading, and I'm going to be talking about the upcoming new moon in Pisces on Saturday, March 17th, and it takes place at 7:12 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, and it's going to be a new moon at 26 degrees of Pisces. So new moons are always seed planting times, and there's a astrological saying, what the new moon promises, the full moon brings. So it's always interesting to look at where the new moon falls in your personal chart, if you have your chart, to see where that seed planting area of your chart, meaning the house that the new moon falls in, takes place. That will kind of help you personalize the new moon a bit. And then, of course, you can look at where the full moon is going to be taking place and see where the culmination energy of the full moon is going to affect your personal chart as well. So I wanted to talk about the chart of the new moon, and it's in late degrees of Pisces, I said at 26, and when the moon is in Pisces, especially the new moon, a beginning seed planting time, Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. It's a water energy. It has to do with our intuition, it's our feelings, our sensing things, our ability to tune into things from a feeling perspective. And it's also, because it's the sign of Pisces, it's also an energy of letting go, of transcending, of allowing compassion, of allowing a flow to occur, and not getting too attached to the way things are, because Pisces is a mutable energy as well. That means that it is inherently about shifting and changing. And through this kind of letting go process, that is what occurs in the sign of Pisces. So this is going to be a very interesting new moon energy. The moon is about our feelings and our emotions, and then of course Pisces is all of those things I just described. So it's very important at this time to really tune in to our intuitive self, to our emotional self, to those ways of gleaning information that isn't so much about the mind and the thought process, but about the feelings and the intuitions and the emotions. The new moon also has the sun, the solar energy, right next to it in the sign of Pisces too. So that means that the self, the ego, the identity is going to also be expressing itself in this very Neptunian, Piscean kind of feeling way. So again, it's just bringing in the feelings along with the ability to express our identity. Those two energies are sitting together in the sign of Pisces, of creativity, of sensitivity, of compassion. Now, what's also happening though at this new moon time is that the new moon is going to be conjuncting the Chiron energy. And Chiron is sitting at 26 degrees of Pisces as well right now. Now, Chiron is the wounded healer, and when the wounded healer energy is in the sign of Pisces, it has to do with a wound around basically not feeling connected to faith, or not feeling connected to believing in some larger picture of things. It can be an energy of really feeling kind of just alone and sort of not really connected to in some ways like a larger order of things. And so the opportunity here is to really invite that sort of process of the healing energy to come into the picture at this time, meaning allowing ourselves to step back and invite that perspective of flow and of compassion, and bringing in the healing energies of of Pisces. And, you know, it may be a process that starts with some sort of like feeling the woundedness, but eventually allowing ourselves to get to that place of letting go and trusting that there is a path through this sort of experience of maybe feeling like it's not clear, or you're not certain about things, or you don't trust things as easily. And also at this time with the new moon in Pisces conjunct Chiron, it's going to be squared by Mars. And Mars is in the very late degrees of Sagittarius right now. And actually the new moon's going to happen with that square from Mars, like I said, early in the morning on Saturday. But then Mars is going to go into Capricorn about 10:41 on the same day, Mountain Standard Time. So first let's talk about the moon in Pisces squaring Mars. You know, the new moon in Pisces, it's like wanting to establish new expressions of creativity, new expressions of compassion, new expressions of connecting with the flow of life. But with the Mars in late degrees of Sag, you know, Mars in Sag wants to just act. You know, it's inspired by the energy of Sagittarius, and it wants to really kind of just put itself out there. And yet it also wants to do it in a way that allows new perspective, because that is a lot of what Sagittarius is about. Sagittarius energy expands our mind. You know, it's our perspectives that allow for new ways of looking at things in life. So as much as this time might sort of feel like with the moon squaring Mars, there might be some sensitivity, there might be some impulsive, almost reactionary energies going on at this time. It is also a time where if we do allow that more compassionate perspective and that more kind of forgiving and understanding way of looking at things, we can really allow for our action energy or our assertive energy to express its more like elevated perspective, in the sense where it wants to allow new perspective into our lives. So that's the moon squared Mars piece to this new moon. So let's also talk about the fact that then Mars will be moving into Capricorn. So we're going to have Mars in the sign of Capricorn. It's going to be joining Saturn, which is at 6 degrees Capricorn, and it's going to be joining Pluto, which is at 20 degrees Capricorn. So basically, we're having Mars, you know, move into an earth energy, move into an energy of kind of slowing down a bit, because, you know, Mars in Sag is like full of ideas, but Mars in Capricorn wants to really ground those ideas and put them into action. So it's a nice place for Mars to be moving, as we want to, you know, begin to kind of slow things down a bit and really ground our action energy, ground our self-assertive energy. And in fact, you know, it might be nice after this new moon to have that Mars move into Capricorn, because the new moon might be bringing, you know, new ideas and perhaps shifts and changes that are needed to be made. And that Mars in Capricorn will really be able to give us that energy to, you know, to start to make those changes and to start to really ground those changes into our reality. And the last piece I want to mention of the new moon is that it is trined Jupiter, which is retrograding in Scorpio at this time. And whenever an energy is retrograding is retrograding, it allows us to kind of rethink that energy. So Jupiter, rethinking the way we expand through the Scorpio energy of transformation. So with that that retrograde Jupiter in Scorpio trining the moon and sun in Pisces at this new moon time, it's going to allow us to, in some ways kind of rethink how we want to, go through this process of transformation in our lives, and allowing us to really continue to go into those scorpionic areas of life and shine light on the subconscious areas that drive us, and perhaps help us to kind of let go a bit more at this new moon time of some of those maybe scorpionic ways of how we choose to expand our world, and let go of maybe the ones that are no longer allowing us, or helping us expand our world through the transformative process in useful ways. Also, another thing that's going to be happening at this time of the new moon is that Venus, which is at 13 degrees Aries, and Mercury, which is at 14 degrees Aries, is going to be, they are going to be conjuncting in the sign of Aries. That happens on the 19th, which is Monday, but that energy is a part of this new moon time. So with the Venus and the Mercury together, that has to do with in Aries, communicating our desires, communicating our pleasure desires. And with Aries, it's like, yes, this is what I want. This is how I am feeling. These are my desires. I would like to have these needs met. So, it ties into this whole new moon time where perhaps we're going to be connecting with a new understanding of our kind of Piscean creative expression and compassionate expression and our intuitive self. And this Mercury Venus is going to give us some energy to really connect with, our feelings in the sense that what it is that we really truly kind of want to say, or how what we want to say is connected with our pleasure principle. How do we express what it is what really pleases us, and that Aries energy is going to give us that courage and that initiative to really express ourselves in that way. So I wanted to end this reading with an interesting tarot deck. They're called the Power Cards. And I want to pick a card for this new moon so that we can have a little more guidance as to how to navigate this energy at this time. And the card is the masculine energy. That is interesting. This card says, carrying your gifts of consciousness from the heart of woman, of Mother Earth, trekking towards the summit of higher knowledge. Because of male and female imbalances, the earth is in danger of dying. Remember that the power of the masculine explodes as the power of the feminine implodes, and a sacred spiral of life is set into motion. One cannot live without the other. The masculine god is in search of the feminine goddess. He brings gifts of driving force to her powers of intuitive, creative receptivity. Both are equal warriors in the fight against ignorance. Balance your masculine and feminine energies through meditation and awareness of when you are carrying a male or female shield. This is your struggle in life and a great source of power for you. So I find that interesting because to me that really does speak to the new moon in Pisces, which is a very feminine energy, but it's squared the Mars in Sagittarius, and then you've got Mercury and Venus together in the sign of Aries, which is very masculine as well, although Venus is very feminine. So it speaks to me about kind of the balance that is needing to be found between the two energies at this new moon time. So thank you so much for watching this reading, and if you like my channel, please subscribe. I also do offer readings. You can reach me at info@highaltitudeastrology.com. Thanks so much. Adios.